Hey everyone, so what if you could make your code better, faster, and way more stable with every single commit you make? It sounds almost too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly the promise of embedding your automated API testing directly into your CI/CD pipeline. Today, we're going to break down how this one practice creates these incredible feedback loops that can literally transform your entire development process.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dig into the why, like what's the real business value here? Then, we'll get on the same page with the language of automation. After that, I'll walk you through a practical, step-by-step playbook, and we'll even cover some common mistakes to watch out for. By the end of this, you'll see how it all clicks together to build that one thing every developer craves: total code confidence. All right, let's dive right in. First things first, why go to all the trouble of testing inside your pipeline? Well, the answer really boils down to two words that drive everything in modern software: speed and stability. Just think about this for a second. What if you could find a bug the very instant it was written into the code? I'm not talking hours or days later in QA, but right then and there. That's the entire problem that integrating your tests into CI/CD is built to solve. The real magic here is all built on one super powerful idea: creating immediate feedback loops. The moment a developer pushes new code, a whole suite of automated tests just springs to life, and within minutes, they get an instant verdict on whether their changes broke anything. It's kind of like having a super fast quality expert looking over your shoulder, but, in a good way. And the benefits of this are just huge. Developers can fix problems while the logic is still totally fresh in their head, which is massive for keeping projects on track. But even better, it stops those annoying little defects from ever even getting close to production. So what does this all lead to? It leads to rapid, and this is the key part, truly reliable software delivery.
Okay, so now that we know why this is so important, let's talk about the what. Before we can actually build one of these systems, we all need to be speaking the same language. So let's decode some of the core concepts you'll hear all the time.
Think of it like a factory assembly line. The CI/CD pipeline, that's the whole line itself. Continuous testing is your automated quality control, checking the product at every single station. A quality gate, that's the final inspector who has the power to pull the stop lever if something isn't perfect. And secrets management, well, that's your secure vault, making sure sensitive things like API keys are handled safely the whole way through.
So, you spent all this time building these amazing tests in Postman. How do you get them to run in this automated command line world? Well, for anyone using the Postman platform, the answer is a fantastic little tool called Newman. It's basically the bridge that connects your design world to your automation pipeline.
So what exactly is Newman? Just think of it as your universal translator. See, Postman is a beautiful, graphical tool, but CI/CD pipelines, they live in the land of the command line. Newman is the piece that lets you take all those powerful Postman collections you've made and run them automatically, right inside any pipeline you want. It's the key that unlocks Postman for serious automation.
Okay, the theory is great, but how do you actually do this? That brings us to our integration playbook. Let's walk through the exact steps to bring all this to life in your own work.
I want you to think about this like you're building a house. These first 4 steps are all about laying a solid foundation. You start by prepping your test framework, making sure every test can run all by itself. Then, you pick your general contractor, your CI/CD tool, like Jenkins or GitHub Actions. Next, you decide what kicks off the work. That's your trigger, usually every time new code is committed. And finally, you make sure the ground you're building on is stable by using a consistent environment, which is where tools like Docker come in handy. Now that our foundation is rock solid, it's time to build the rest of the house. First, and this is a big one, you lock up your valuables. You use a secrets manager so your API keys are never just lying around. Then, you bring in the crew to do the main job, running your tests with Newman. After that, you install your security system, that's your quality gate, which stops the whole process if anything looks fishy. And finally, you set up your cameras with automated reports so you can see exactly what's happening at all times.
All right, knowing the steps is one thing, but knowing how to avoid the common traps, that's a whole other level. So let's look at a couple of the most frequent mistakes people make and how you can sidestep them like a pro.
Okay, this one is probably the most critical of all: how you handle sensitive data. The classic mistake is just hard-coding API keys and tokens right into the test scripts. Please don't do this. It's a massive security risk just waiting to happen. The pro tip is simple. Always use the built-in secrets management features of your platform, like GitHub Secrets. It injects those credentials securely only when they're needed, and then they're gone. Here's another pitfall that can drive you crazy: creating tests that depend on each other. Where test B won't work unless test A ran first. When you try to run those in parallel, you get total chaos, a domino effect of cascading failures. So the pro tip is to architect for isolation. Every single test should be its own little island, able to run completely on its own. This is what gives you fast, reliable, and scalable results.
So, after all this work, what's the real payoff? It's about so much more than just cleaner code. It's a fundamental shift in how your team develops software. Let's talk about what it really means to achieve genuine code confidence. And this is where it all gets really exciting. Imagine having an automated final check that runs a full regression suite before anything goes to production. Or picture getting detailed feedback on your code within minutes of pushing it, not hours or days. You can even enforce performance standards, automatically failing a build if an API response is too slow. See? This isn't just about testing anymore. It's about building quality in from the very first line of code.
When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one idea. This quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. Integration provides those immediate feedback loops that are absolutely essential for modern, rapid development. It's all about catching problems early, when they're small and easy to fix.
So we're going to leave you with this question to think about. Once you have a pipeline that automatically proves the quality and the stability of every single change you make, you're not just moving faster, you're moving with confidence. Your pipeline is running. What will you go out and build with that newfound confidence?